Hello, my name is Richard Anthony Marca, and this is the 10th and final assignment for CSC313 Graphics and Visual Computing, except for the final, of course. But this one is from the Car Simulation Over Terrain, exercise 4.5-2, which is to implement multiple cars in the simulation. I already have this all set up. So if I go to the terminal and go up to this class path for car simulation, I start it. We have two cars. One is, so player one is in red and player two is in blue. And I can move player one by going up, turn around, turn around. And if I press the number 2 key, you'll see the blue car. Notice how the red car was still moving a little bit after I released it. So if I go like this, and if I went over the hill. I've got the hills right there. My bad. But if I press the 1 button, I go back to the red car. And there's 2. That's a wall right here. So if I drive into here, this is the wall from the OBJ file that we generated. So, and there's the car. It looks like it just flipped out of control, but now here is the one player car again, and there is the blue car. And that is it for this. As you can see, the wheels look nice, although it kind of goes through the blue a little bit and the red as well, but that's not too big of a deal. It still looks like wheels. Anyways, that is it for this, and I will now go on to the Word document. And here is the Word document. So as you can see, everything is pretty much the same in the first part, but we added a new import, the linked list, which was on Aiden's side. So we also changed cars from just being a variable, a regular variable, like a string, to a list. So we could store multiple cars. And a car index, so we know which car is being currently controlled. We go down past all this other stuff like the initialization light. And then here inside of init or initiation, we initialize multiple cars. So this is car add. So this is the first car. And this is the second car, which we will come back to that later. Here's more terrain stuff. And this is the part I worked on, was to update the track to currently control the car and to switch the cars. We will come back to that later because that's more down the line, but this is something inside of the loop that I added. And this is for cars car. We update and render the car because there's more than one. And this is another thing I added, was handle car switching, which is the handle car switching method, which is down the line. And if I go all the way down, this is all from the book. If I go all the way past setup camera and update camera, all the way down to past cross product, you're going to see the main method I created, which was handle car switching, which is a private void function. So if the key 1 is pressed, as you can see, the GLFW get key, the number 1 key, on the top or on the keypad. If it's pressed, then it turns the car index to 0. It switched to car 1. Else, if you press the 2 key, it switches to car 2 by changing the current car index to 1. And if I wanted to, I could add this for 3 and have car index as 2 to make a third car and a fourth car and so forth. So this could go probably say like up to 9 or maybe 10 if I add 0 as like car index 9. But we also changed the update car movement. That is not the same, where we now get the currently controlled car for the car movement because we don't want to move both of them at the same time. We just want the one that's being controlled. Here's the get key for up is going forward or accelerate. Back is decelerating and even backing up. And left is left and right is right. And this part is what my partner Ethan worked on, which was changing the colors. Have a different color for the car. So instead of using the number variables, we decided to use R, G, and B for the color. And he decided to add this public car, which adds not only this X, this Y, and this Z, but this R, this G, and this B. And if we go down further past decelerate, accelerate, update, you're going to see for the render car body, we're going to have RGB to set the color of the car body. And that's probably the last of the changes on this part, because everything else is relatively the same. But if I go all the way back up, if we look at the cars ad, like we showed earlier, to initialize the cars, which this was also part of the car colors, you're going to see that for adding a new car, we actually have 6 variables. So unlike the original, this first is the X, Y, and Z coordinate. That's why the second car is a little bit in front of the red car and actually to the left slightly as well. But also, this changes the color of the car. So this is actually the red, this is the green, and this is the blue. And that is it for this presentation. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the final.